A very good morning to all of you, my dear parents, my dedicated teachers, and my beloved students. I quote, never do for a child what he can do for himself, or we rob him or her of an opportunity to learn. I, Shobna Satyamurthy, stand here truly humbled and amazed at all of your parents who have taken the time to intentionally seek out the blessings of the Almighty and my ever supporting children who stand always beside us. I know we all have an extraordinarily busy lives, but what is more important than supporting the development of our children? Each parent here is experiencing that miraculous gift of raising a child, none of whom came with a care manual. It then becomes a collective journey to provide what they need along the various developmental changes throughout their lives. This is where you will see that innate education will be a tremendous partner along with that in your journey. 2 years back, my co-director, Mr. Sonu Jain, and myself witnessed an incredible support from all our parents where we navigated from a hurricane by another community of homeschoolers. It's hard to believe that in the year 2021, we were able to start a school, began the development of a curriculum that involves lots of projects, hands-on activities, and a true patriotism without which our students wouldn't be a true citizen of India. Simultaneously, we also had a strategic plan along with our parents to develop the CBSE, IGCSE, and NIOS course support and the study support after school hours. What heroic energy by all my teachers and my ever supporting parents who trust in us. What an amazing community of parents we have at Innate Education. And of course, the parents across globally. At Innate Education, we celebrate the fact that each student is different as a child and as a learner. We believe that great learning and teaching occurs under a shared spirit of respect, interaction, and creates a passionate schooling experience recognized for its warmth, energy, and excellence. We offer the homeschooling curriculum, which is balanced, force nurturing the child to develop as a whole individual and to become a good citizen of that country. A small glimpses of our innate education, homeschooling. Sonu sir, can you please?
Yes, ma'am.
Innate Education. We're one of the leading online schools for homeschoolers globally. Our homeschool students are outperforming in academics, sports, arts, and technologies. We follow NIOS and Cambridge International School syllabus. Innate Education is special among parents for its integration of subjects where our students learn in very interactive way. Innate Education students experiences very friendly teaching environment and individual focus. We schedule class for only 8 students per session, primary students up to 1 hour per day, secondary students up to 2 hours per day, higher secondary students up to 3 hours per day. Innate Education ensures our students freedom of expression, encouraging their intellectual thinking, and we encourage them to develop other life skills parallelly. To know more about homeschool, kindly check www.n8edu.com.
That was a glimpse of innate education. This is where we also thought about bringing in resource people. And today we have Madam Deepa Atreya amongst us, who is a Guinness record holder. Madam, glad to see you here online session. She is also the founder of the Art School, who has volunteered to spare her precious time on this particular day of the resource about the art of connecting with your child. Connect first, correct later. She has conducted over 1,000+ parental programs. Madam Deepa Atreya is the founder of School of Success, founder of Be the Change Movement, former director Mitra, Pink Ambassador India Turns Pink, a fight against breast cancer, chairperson Tamil Nadu Women Entrepreneurs, all leads All Ladies League, former President of India Vietnam, Business Council of the Women's India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Harvard certified post-graduation in e-diploma in leading schools. She is also a leadership coach for students, a management graduate, Guinness record holder, once again saying that Asia record holder, has worked with almost 3 lakh students till date. She has also been working with 2,500 plus institutions, has won several awards and accolades for her contribution towards education. She has had over 2 decades in the field of education, and she has conducted over 3,000 plus teacher training programs as well. She has conducted almost 1,000 plus of parental programs, and it's glad to see Madam Deepa Atreya amongst us on this special occasion. Over to you, Madam. Madam Deepa.
Yeah. Hey, Shobna, thank you so much for the opportunity. It feels awesome to connect after so many years, and she is my schoolmate as well. And we literally looking at each other after many, many years, but it's so awesome to connect on this platform. So awesome to connect with each and every one of you. And my name is Deepa Atreya, of course, and I've been promoting homeschooling, and it's so glad that because we believe that homeschooling is a way forward, and why should a curriculum be so static when the world is so dynamically changing, right? So, and that is the power of homeschooling, where learning truly happens beyond classrooms. So it's amazing. And AltSchool, we are based out of Chennai. So where are these parents from? Bangalore?
Across.
Across. We're all in different time zones, or?
Yeah, different time zones.
Okay, great. So I just wanted to understand. And yes, I can see a few children here. So what's the average age group of the audience we are addressing today? Average age group of children?
Should be like 8 to 13 years.
8 to 13 years. Okay, great. Got it. So the topic for the day is connect first, correct later, right? First of all, congratulations to all parents. We have chosen the road right travel. I wouldn't say less traveled, because this is supposed to be the road that's supposed to be traveled, and we've chosen the right path for children. So but in today's scenario, it requires a lot of guts to do that. That's what people say, but I think it's high time we normalize homeschooling in our country. At least a couple of countries in the West have normalized it, but our country is getting right there. I specialize in NIOS. So NIOS per se is the largest open schooling system in the world, and has created so many wonderful people. And, I can already see the kind of work NIOS is doing, right? The testimonials that we saw, the video that I saw, some amazing work by, homeschooling centers like this. And it's so glad that so many homeschooling centers are popping up. So the topic for today is connect first and correct later. So how do we establish that connect with children, right? Yes, a lot of good things were spoken about me, accomplishments, achievements. But today, when I'm addressing, it is going to be more or less through my personal experiences as a mother of 2. I have 2 children who are not children anymore. Technically, they're adults, but I still call them babies. And what was my journey in parenting them? At the same time, what was my journey in having worked with over 3 lakh students till date? How did we establish the connect with every single child? How did we help other parents establish the connect with every single child? So this is what today's topic is going to revolve around. I don't know why there is an echo. Is it my device? Okay, so thank you. Basically, if you look back at my journey about, say, 18 years ago, getting all the accomplishments and all that, I was selling balloons on the streets to survive. Okay, that was me 18 years ago. And from there to here, and a mother of 2 as well. My daughter was hardly 10 days old then, and my son was 4 years. Although life had a lot of ups and downs too, near to death, road accidents, and then got into selling balloons on the streets, etc., etc., etc. Something that remained constant, which I am super proud of today. When I say I, it's we, Arvind and I, is the connect that we've had, that bond that we have had with our children, and as a family, as four of us, that remained constant. With so many changes happening all over, and life throwing challenges, this remained constant. So I'm basically going to keep this very simple, and let's make it as interactive as we can. So there's no right or wrong formula to parenting, right? How many of us agree to this statement? Can we have a show of hands? Yeah. So there's no right, because every family is so unique. Every child is so unique. Every human is very unique. Then how can we have a standard formula, right? But more or less, overall, what has worked for me, yesterday happened to be my birthday, and I had two of my adult children flying down from whichever part of the globe they were in, to come and just surprise me. And when things like that happens, you look at the sky and say, parenting done right, correct? Because after 18, forget after 18, these days, after teens, we don't really have a control on children, and we don't really know how much of it's their choices, and we need to respect that. So overall, but I think we can summarize today's topic into 5 major categories. So I'm keeping it very simple. I call it A, B, C, D, E of connect first and correct later. These are things that I have done, which could probably work for you. And maybe most of you are already doing this. So one thing that I always did was, starting with A, is always be in the moment, right? So when your child is seeking for attention, there are many ways in which a child can seek attention. It could be a rebellious behavior. It could be, hey, I need your time. But most of the time, it's never, I need your time, right? It could be considered as nagging. It could be considered as a rebellious behavior. Or the best way to seek attention is, I'm hungry, right? So whenever a child is asking for something, it means that the child requires us to be there in the moment. So, life has had many ups and downs. And for me, as I told you, I have always been my schedules have been very hectic, honestly. And balancing work and home has, I don't think I've mastered the art as yet. However, I kind of make sure when they need me, my phone is away and I'm listening to them. So that's so important, right? And they know that. So that tells a message that you are the most important thing in my life right now, your priority. I'm listening to you. So it's very important that, we are not mentally preoccupied. And we see a lot of parents do that, right? You're on your phone, you're listening to your child, and give me 2 minutes. Or we're talking to somebody. And when a child interrupts, stop your conversation with that somebody, because that somebody honestly is not constant. The constant of your life, your child is. So excuse yourself from that somebody and probably bend down to the level of your child and ask, hey, what is it? And then, have a small chit chat and say, hey, you know what? I'm in the middle of something. Let me just get done with this. Give me exactly, have a predictable time. That's what I do. Give me exactly 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'm going to be all yours after that, right? For example, before I jumped into this webinar, I didn't know about my children are surprising me, right? I didn't know they're going to be here on a Saturday. And it's a super hectic day. Shobna knows there's something else that's lined up for the second half. And they're like, you're working today also. We came here all the way for you. And my reply to that was, listen, 12 dot, I'm going to be all yours. And in front of them, I rescheduled a few meetings. I've cancelled a few, pushed it, whatever I could push for tomorrow. For Monday, I've pushed it because they are here for a week. So there is a message that's going out that you are my priority. So always be in the moment and not be too preoccupied with what's happening. That's A. B, build a bond with your children. We've heard this several times, bonding, team. Everybody's talking about bonding these days, because in this world and age where we're all digitally connected, I think we're all mentally and physically so disconnected most of the times, right? So that's why a lot of team bonding, corporates invest crores and crores of rupees in team bonding exercises. I'm taking my team abroad. We're going to have bonding exercise. You don't have to have such fancy bonding. We don't have to go out for fancy holidays to, bond with our children. Children spell TIME equals LOVE. That's it. Time equals love. Love equals time for them. Bonding doesn't have to be fancy experiences all the time. I'm saying this more big from a point of view of a parent who struggled a lot in my early years, where income was a huge constraint for us. There was a point in time when we didn't have money to feed our babies the next day. I didn't have money to buy diapers. So what kind of fancy bonding can I do during those times, right? So we need to think of creative ways to bond with children, and that would be by giving them a lot of time. So a couple of things that we did was we played with them every day, some kind of a game. It could be a pillow fight. They were tiny then, so those kind of, like, it could be a pillow fight, or Aryan, my son, had a lot of these toy cars, so we will create a parking lot for his car and do a lot of things. So something where children were always in the kitchen when I was cooking, right? We used to go over a period of time when things started getting better. We used to go grocery shopping together. So weekend was grocery shopping. One fundamental rule that I had was, so there was a time when I was grappling between, building a business for income and parenting without support. So ours was a love marriage. We didn't have support from both sides. So we literally raised the children ourselves. So we were kind of firefighting. However, we used to dedicate pockets of time for children and for the bonding. And for me, one of the dedicated timing was the time I used to pick them up from school and get back home. So between Arvind and I, it would be either of them who will pick up. So we never put them on a transport, more because we didn't have that kind of money to put them then, school transport. So we would go somehow and pick them up and come back. But that time when they chit chat after school, that was bonding time for us, right? And so when we are bonding, remember, it is bonding. Children do not need our advice. Honestly, how many of us agree that our kids are way smarter than we are? How many of you agree? Come on. I know some children are watching the eloquence like, I love Deepa aunty. She's actually reading our mind voice and talking. Children really don't need advice. There's so much of information available everywhere. They know so much, more than what we do. When we were their age, probably, I don't know, maybe Shobna and I were playing hopscotch at that age under a tamarind tree in our school and figuring out who bought which lunch. That's all we did. But these kids at this age know so much. So they really, I feel they just need a heart, somebody to actually listen to what they are saying. Unless and until they ask for a solution, I do think we should come up with a solution for them. All they need is a listener, right? See, for example, I know as a parent, it's very difficult, Sometimes we say, oh, I'm your best friend. I'm so non-judgmental. I'm this and that. But when the child talks to you like a best friend, then we switch on to parent mode on, right? That's something where we need to learn to strike a balance. For example, once my daughter came and told me, I think she was 6th grade, 7th grade, I don't remember. She came and told me, Mama, it was so much fun in school today. You know what? I copied and I got done with my math exam. Okay. So my heart just sank. Because by now I'm also an educator. I work with so many schools, colleges, and here is my daughter declaring to me openly that she's copied, right? My instant reaction was a smile, and I just let it go. It was not, no, 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 you shouldn't copy. It was not any of those things. Did you get caught? No, mama. Obviously, no. Okay, okay, come. After 2 3 days, I sat her down and I said, you know what? This, if you get caught, great that you didn't get caught. But then if you get caught, you're going to be in serious trouble, baby, because there are cameras installed everywhere in your school. I know that, and you know the consequences. So you know what? Next exam, let's prepare better. And then consciously, I was working towards helping her out with that particular subject for her next exam. Right. So I think that is what we need to do as parents. We have to find, yes, mission accomplished. Next exam, she didn't copy, and things were fine, and she's doing amazingly well for herself now. But mission accomplished. So there are several ways to accomplish the same mission. So by us saying, hey, you shouldn't copy, why did you do that? This is not the right thing, is never going to help, because next time probably they'll just shut off and not talk to you about it at all. You don't want that happening. Bonding also happens when you bond with their friends very unconditionally. I'm a very selfish parent. I want to know what is happening in their lives. And the only way to do this is to create an amazing bond with all their friends, right? So they look at me as their friends. And, whenever they have any problems, those kids come to me, chit chat. Even now, my adult children have adult friends, but they all come and chit chat. Auntie, you know what? This happened, that happened. Da, da, da. So I actually know what is happening. And in a way, I feel good about it, because I think even those kids really need somebody to listen to them unconditionally. So you can find out snuggling up, chit-chatting, reading a book together is bonding without force. So all this is actually, a lot of, you can come up with creative ways for bonding. Children can come up with even more creative ways to bond with us. You can ask them for suggestions, right? And they pick up so many games from everywhere. I'm talking about physical games like, rock, paper, scissors kind of, there are many more inventions to these games. So they know all of this better. C stands for, this is very important. I would say, what is our commonly used tone and language with children? It's so important to use the right tone and the right language with children, which many parents, in my experience, give it a miss, right? For example, right from very early age, we as a couple, we believe a lot in manifestation, law of attraction. We are voracious readers. So we believe a lot in secret. 7 habits is something that is a way of life for us. So we use a lot of proactive language. So my son is the older one. He was God's child, literally. I mean, he's the perfect son anybody could have, absolutely. He would sleep on time. He would wake up on time. He'll have his meal on time and all that. And then came a second child in our life who is absolutely, she was a real brat, and she still is. So once what happened, I was, getting her ready to go to school, getting her ready for school. And you know how Monday morning tsunamis happen, right? For school going children. I know we are homeschoolers. Our children went to regular school, because when we were young, we started our business when we were 21. At that point in time, so many years ago, homeschooling was not a thing. And I didn't know anything about homeschooling. So we pushed them into the regular stream. So it was Monday morning tsunami, getting the tie, ID card, all that in place. And what happened was, she was about to have her milk before going to school. And I blew my fuse off like it. And in Tamil, I said it. So let me translate it in English. You are going to drop this glass of milk now. And she exactly did that. That was I felt so terrible. So ultimately, we had to change the uniform. It was a Monday morning, so white uniform. We had only one set of white uniform, so she had to wear the next day Tuesday ka uniform and go. And I had to write a permission note. I had to go to the principal, say sorry. So it became a huge, very long process. And ever since then, we got even more conscious about what we are talking to children. So ever since then, it is hold your glass properly. Remember to bring your bottle back home. It's never don't forget to take your water bottle, or don't lose your pencil box and come. Don't do this. It's never that. So rewiring of language is very important. And the tone in which we speak. Honestly, I can very proudly say that, and you can ask my children, I haven't raised my hands on my children ever. Okay, and it's always been that way. And the thing is, if I call them, the code is if I call them by their full name. So my daughter is called Kamakshi, son is called Aryan. If I say Kamakshi Atreya, she knows this, she'll come running to me. Okay, so you don't really necessarily need to have a loud tone, go physically slap children. In fact, even we don't have to use any abusive language as well. So that's so important, because according to me, every abusive language that we use is an emotional slap on that child. And it's so important that we use the right set of language, tone, and that kind of creates a bond with our children. They respect us, and they also learn to be wonderful human beings, because they also mirror us, right? So today, when they are grown up and when they are handling their teams and offices and in their workplaces and wherever they go, I find it so wonderful, because they're handling things so gracefully. And I think that because of the tone that we set at a very young age for them, right? So there's less of beautiful. Now, D stands for demonstrating a lot of trust. To connect with anything or anyone in life, foundation, right? And we need to demonstrate that trust in them. Go to work, and my daughter would, hold my legs, cry, because she was all of, say, of her toddler years, her baby years, basically, and let her go and for me to get out of the gate, right? But not even once, never ever have I lied to my children. Never. It never happens. So every time I had to step out, I would sit them down and say, hey, and I'm going to come back. It's never, you go see, there's the simple things, but it has a huge impact on them, right? And, sometimes we as parents tend to lie to others in front of them, which also has a huge impact on them. Once we went to Singapore, and, Singapore had these, most of these destinations have tickets into the age, right? So she was, my daughter looks very petite, but she was 12 plus. So if it's 12 plus, it's a full ticket. Less than 12, it's a half ticket. So we were in a group and somebody was saying, hey, she will pass off for an 8, just get half a ticket. I said, what difference does it make? It does make a huge difference to her if I'm going to lie to her in front of her and do this, right? So it's very, very important that we demonstrate trust to them, and they need to know that, and keeping their secrets. That's another thing. When even if it's I know we need a place to vent out, but even if it means it's my own best friend I'm going to be talking to, that's not right. Because we talk about this to anybody else. That's very important. Talking about a child's character to others, a bunch of us, when we meet, my child is so naughty. Oh, my child is not doing this, not doing that, complaining, cribbing. All this is demonstrating lack of trust. They need to trust that no matter what, my parents are going to stand up for me right here. Even if I screw up, it's okay, but they are there for me and make sure that I don't do this again. So that's so important. And 5E stands for empathy. Always, we come up with so many situations as parents which we never faced in our childhood. I've heard so many parents who come to me and say, in my childhood, I used to listen to all that my father says, all that my mother says. I don't know, these children just don't listen to us. I was such an obedient child. I remember so well once I was ranting something to my children, both of them. They were again tiny, I lived a very conservative life, this, that. And then my daughter looks at me and she says, Mama, I don't know. I think you didn't have a great mom, maybe, but I'm lucky to have you. So it's okay. And she just walked out, right? And that was again a lesson for me that our childhood, our upbringing, or our growing up years is so different from theirs. Doesn't just because our challenges are also different from theirs. So I don't think we should even draw a comparison there. And we honestly can't relate to the challenges that children are going through these days. Honestly, we just can't put ourselves there. Therefore, what is very important, because I think in our days, the comparison was what? Restricted to a neighbor, a classmate, or a few cousins. But now with digital media everywhere, and I mean, the world becomes your comparison. There's global comparison happening. There's so much pressure that they're going through. While we feel that their pressure is jujube, it is not, honestly. So if we put ourselves in their shoes and have the compassion to actually look at things from their perspective, I think we will be able to establish a connect even better. If I were in your position, going through all the struggles that you are going through, how would you react? Just put yourself in your child's shoes, and you will sometimes know that the way your child's reaction is justified. It might not be right, but it could be justified. It is justified, and therefore, you need to maneuver and give them the right direction, right? So these are the 5 fundamental, if I have to call it principles, I don't know. I mean, experiences that I've had in connecting with my own children, helping parents connect with so many of their children, so many of I have found this absolutely useful. And in this world of so much of distraction and disconnection, I think what is very, very important is to keep sending that message to your children that our home will be your only constant in this ever-changing world, right? And it is more than before. I know our parents, maybe at least in my case, my parents really didn't bother to establish that kind of connect, but their way of connecting was different from ours. That's all I'm saying. So for those days, parenting was more of authoritative style, and I tell you better do it, but that's their way of establishing the connection. And maybe the way our children are going to parent their children is completely going to be different from the way we are parenting them. But that's okay. Whatever it is, let's just be in the present and connect with them truly, genuinely, wholeheartedly, and deeply, because end of the day, we know that they are our lifelines. Maybe we may not be telling it very often, but enjoy every moment of their time. They may get a little annoying. They may get a little nagging. You may find it very overwhelming, but trust me, I have crossed that stage, and now we are empty nesters, and we are missing all the chaos and noise and fun and naughtiness and all that. We're missing all of that a lot these days. So enjoy every bit of it as you get it, right? So probably we'll leave the floor open to a few questions. Shobna, is that okay?
Yes. It's like parents and children. You all can feel free to post
Yeah, I can see
distance,
quite a few
whatever
kids.
comes to your mind. Yeah, please.
Any questions, anyone? No questions. Either you understood everything or you didn't understand anything. Either of the two.
Well, thanks, Dipaji. It was a great session indeed. In fact, I just wanted to add some points. I've been an energy healer and for quite some time. And when I connect to a lot of people and they go through a tough time and traumas, so it is always somewhere the traumas which happened in their childhood that impacts them later in their lives. And most of the time it's 99% it's the same case. So so we don't know what happens in the childhood and when it gets manifested. So this is why it becomes so critical what you have said, and it's a very I think that these are the most important years of anybody's life that can make it or break it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the session. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Ankur. Thank you. And I can't agree with you more because, we go back and relive our childhood, right? I feel so happy to actually see Shobna on screen today because, all those school memories are coming back. So it's very important that we create as many happy, loving memories as we can for our children. Can't agree more. Thank you.
Yeah, Shiva, would you like to ask some questions?
Ma'am, first of all, thanks for arranging such beautiful session. And as usual, all your team and all your efforts are really great. And Deepa ma'am was able to really connect with all that you're saying. I mean, right from our childhood experience to the experience as parents, we have learned on the go. And in fact, Innate has been. We didn't deliberately go for an online schooling. We went for Shobna ma'am and Sonu sir, to be frank. And then it all happened. It's been a beautiful journey. And your session is really superb. Basically, it was all very personal. The way you said your kids have come down to meet you, and it just proves that how beautifully you have been able to, or how successfully you have done your parenting. Hopefully, we also are able to do something of that sort. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for those lovely words. And yes, as a couple, we always decided that we can build their homes later. We can build our home, we can build our careers, all that will happen eventually, which definitely happened. But what we focused on in our initial years, because we didn't really want to miss out on that, was to build those wonderful memories with children and build their confidence, their self-esteem that, wherever you go, you can go lead a wonderful life for yourself. And we never, ever let them question their own selves, ever. So thanks, Shiva. Thanks for those lovely words. Do any of these students want to ask how to handle parents? Both ways, right?
Somehow I've already gotten that hang.
Yeah, even I know how to do it because I can escape using my flexibility if I'm in danger.
Oh God, you guys ace at it, really. Otherwise, you just have to give that cute little smile of yours. There's one cute smile, and our hearts just melt, and then we are all yours after that. So you guys, I know, are rocking it.
I think animals do that better than us.
I know, I get that, but then when you become a parent, you'll understand what I'm saying. Okay, so of course, all pet parents, I'm sure, animals, you're all animal lovers, but when it comes to our own children, we find our kids the cutest in the world.
Yes, Deepaji, thank you so much for this wonderful session. I think it resonates with a lot of things that we have been reading every day. But one of that I would also want to add here is that the role the teachers play in this children's life, right? I mean, we inculcate a lot of things to the children, but the way the teachers speak to the children, the way they groom the child, that also plays a huge part in their life. And my son has been somehow fortunate that he's got the best teachers in his life, from his youngest age. So I always have told he was very lucky that whoever has been his teacher even till date, Shobana ma'am or Sonu sir or his Hindi teacher, they keep the humanity values to be the most priority. Rather than you've not done your homework, you've not done this, that. No, the most important thing is it's okay not to be okay. That's what is a message that he's got from his childhood. I think that also plays a very huge part apart from what we are talking at home or what we are teaching. I think you have also been doing a wonderful job of training teachers, because that is something which is very, very important today. So
That's
thank you
good.
for your time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. And I didn't get your name, sorry.
Madam Tara.
Sorry?
Navintara.
Navita.
Naveen Tara. Naveen Tara.
Tara.
Yes,
Did I
yes.
get it right?
So I work for a organization which is a rare diseases organization.
Mhm.
So we have a foundation also where I have been encouraging children to take up homeschooling and continue their education in spite of having difficult times, right? So that's
Amazing.
has been.
Lovely, lovely. Hats off to the awesome work you do. And yes, that's such an important block of every child's life, which is education and the mentors who are there guiding the children. And I'm so glad Shobna's been doing an amazing job. She's such a humble thing. We hardly know what she's up to, but but for a few updates here and there. But when we hear it from parents like you, it feels so good. And I think that's what any wonderful educator does, where emotional safety becomes the core of the work that you do. Emotional safety for the child. Child needs to feel emotionally safe. Child needs to feel happy. All of us as humans need to feel very happy and safe. That's when we are going to be at our personal best, right? And I'm so glad organizations like N8, led by Shobna and her partner, they're doing some amazingly great job. It's so wholesome to know this, Shobna. I think we should catch up for coffee soon. I'm not a coffee person, I'm a green tea person, but yeah, we should catch up for whatever soon.
Yeah. Yeah, there are other parents as well, like Dev sir, Manjari ma'am is there, then Sally ma'am is there. Yeah, Sally ma'am, Manjari ma'am, Dev sir, we would like to hear from you as well.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi ma'am, good morning.
It is an interesting session, but yeah, I will try my best to follow whatever ma'am told. I know as a parent, it is little difficult when they are very mischievous. It's really difficult to handle them sometimes. So, yeah, I will definitely follow whatever ma'am said, and I'll try my best to follow it.
I'm sure, Sally. I think probably we should exchange some notes on how to handle mischievous children, because when my second child was born, I didn't know what hit me, because I made this weird statements to my husband when after my first child was born, and when we would go to supermarkets and kind of see some kind of, and those were initial years of my career also, right? I was all of 21, 22 around that time. So I would probably see a child having a meltdown at a supermarket and say, I look at my husband and say, it all boils down to parenting end of the day, And then we said, okay, in 4 years, Kamakshi popped out. And when she came, we really didn't know what hit us, honestly. And all those, it was like karma, boomerang. So, the journey, the moment so one day my husband just sat me down and told me, this was the first 10, 15 days of her birth, because I was getting overwhelmed with everything. She was just not sleeping through the night. I mean, to me, my son was sleeping through the night. So if we provide the right environment, any child will sleep through the night. So this girl was not sleeping through the night and I was getting exhausted. So my husband sat me down and he said, listen, this is it. This is her. Aryan is different. Kamakshi is different. The sooner you accept who she is, it's going to be easier for you. And
Right.
that was a life-changing moment for me, honestly. And then we started accepting that she's a live wire, this is her personality, and she brought in so much of life into our home, honestly. And so the moment you start accepting your child's personality and start enjoying that along with the child, I think it gets easier.
True, true, true.
So yeah, we have come to the end of the session. So thanks, Deepa, for joining all of us on this Saturday, in spite of your hectic schedule. In fact, we would all love to share our precious time with our kids more than any official work as such. But keeping that schoolmate in mind, I think, as you promised, you were here on time. In fact, on the dot at 11. Of course, small glitches in between because of technology. That's okay. And I would like to state that myself and my daughter, we happened to witness one of Deepa's session, say when my daughter was in second standard. So it should be around 6 years old. And Deepa was an inspiration to my daughter as well. So when my daughter heard about one of her experiences, I said, you must hear what Deepa says, because that time I think Deepa had just delivered a baby, and that's when she went on the beach to sell balloons, because she quoted a statement. I don't know, like how many of our students and parents heard, or maybe because of some glitches, you might have missed out that those lines, saying that she used to go every day carrying balloons on the beach, selling balloons for the next meal, not only for her, even for her children. So you know that our children are actually looking into our struggles, so they're very observant, in fact, to say. So it's all about, as Deepa said, it's all about our parenting ways, where we show them, yeah, life is about ups and downs. It's not always cozy. Like, no, sometimes we feel that, yeah, I'm so comfortable. It's only about others who cannot even afford a car to go somewhere. But as she said, no, it's a blessing. So we should actually honor the blessings what God has manifested on us, saying that, yeah, this is where you are, and you should value it to the most. And thanks, Deepa, for guiding us with all that ABCD. Somewhere, no, even I was reiterating on all the things that I shouldn't be doing as a parent as well, because most of the time, even I'm there in my sessions, and sometimes my daughter walks behind, and then I say, can you understand that I'm in a session? I'm in my teaching class, and you're just walking behind. So that tone itself, no, then from that was the last day. Then after that, she is like, even if I feel thirsty or I'm coughing, immediately she's so concerned that she wants to. Then she told me, no, ma, actually, I brought a glass of water for you. So that was like, oh my God. I had just told her not to cross during my class, and this child is like so empathetic on me. So then I stopped, thinking that no, this is not the tone I should be using to my child, without even knowing what actually it is.
Right.
So that's all about parenting again. Of course, lot of insights that's taken from others as well. And of course, I should thank all my parents who have joined on this Saturday, in spite of some have missed their personal life of attending a wedding, some have missed attending their official meetings, some have missed connecting to some conference calls and all. So thanks a lot, in spite of functions, attending some functions, like Sali ma'am is in between a function, and in spite of that, she's here, and Tara ma'am, like with her son's infusion, which happened few days back, and again he's there along with his mom. So thanks a lot, parents. I should thank all of you to be present on this special occasion. In fact, this is our first webinar ever, Deepa. And
awesome.
yeah, so in fact, we brought a lot of resources, but it was only a very small forum kind of, only with our students. But now that it was open to most of the parents, I know that the recording will also be shared with others. So thanks for joining on this occasion of parenting, how to parent, and it's an art, I should say, a beautiful skill God has gifted to us, because there are so many of them who are longing to be parents. And I've seen people cry that, they would want to become a parent as well. So we should actually embrace what God has gifted us, and we should start learning from each other. In fact, now and then I request parents to share some of your beautiful bits and pieces of what to say, jnana or some kind of a skill that, exchange of ideas and exchange of some small tidbits will really help the others. So we have a group as well, like, no, all the students together there. So here and there to share those tidbits will really help each one of us is what I'm expecting and I'm looking forward to from all of you. Thanks a lot once again, and thanks for
Yeah,
your
so now
time.
before
Right.
winding up, I just need one more minute. Yeah, Deepa ma'am, I know you are out of the time, just 2 minutes.
Sure, please.
Yeah. So first of all, ma'am, thanks for joining because that was really a very helpful webinar. So, like I raised my hand a couple of times when you asked, okay, how many parents can relate? Although I'm a bachelor right now, okay, I didn't even get married, so there's no, yeah. But what happens now, ma'am? Like I belong to a tier 3 city, Sagar, Madhya Pradesh. So the concept of homeschooling is not at all introduced here. And when we talk about the relationship between the parents and the child, here the relationship is still the same, more or less, which we used to experience when we were very young, like I was a child. No, but now they are more privileged. Now the children are getting everything whenever they want. But it's still like when I see they are not able to connect with their parents, they hide a lot of things from their parents. Okay, they hide a lot of things. Even like they share more things with me, being a coaching teacher for them. They discuss a lot of things with me, but they hide it. Even like if they get hurt while playing, couple of children don't even discuss with their parents, like thinking that their mom will gonna scold them, saying that I told you, right? You went out for play, see, you get hurt. So like that kind of thing. So I used to think, right, like in the upcoming 1 or 2 years, if I get married, okay, like when I have the child, like how do I need to parent them? Like I used to think like I think about future a lot. So I have made a lot of strategies. Like this is something what I'll do. This is something what I'll do. This is how I'll deal with them. And when today you are saying, right, I was able to get a lot of things. So that actually gave me a confidence. Yeah, okay, whatever I was thinking, that was the right direction. Okay, and that's how we should go through. So thank you, ma'am, and we'll make sure that whatever you have conveyed in this closed webinar, I'll try to guide most of other parents also. Okay, especially like those who are not privileged enough that they get a mentor like you to understand this small thing which is actually very helpful in their life. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for those lovely words. Thank you so much.
Thanks. While I would like to thank all the parents and my students who have joined on this occasion. To know more about parenting, the art of parenting is very critical nowadays because what we had during our century, during our childhood is completely different from what students are experiencing now. Lots of gadgets, lots of social media to say, lots of exposure to many resources. So what to be picked? So that's why Innate Education makes all the support of handpicking, something which is really important for us students at this age. We nurture students not only about academics, we also nurture them about holistic development. In fact, to say we encourage them for multi-talented shows. In fact, some students do skip their exams to participate in co-curricular activities in which we give them and accommodate. Sometimes the offline schools or the contemporary schools are very stringent on saying, no, they are supposed to attend the examination and so on and so forth, especially for the secondary students. But we don't enforce those kind of rules and try to accommodate the exams and try to set another paper, even if it is just one child. So in fact, to say, I should thank all my teachers who unhesitatingly come forward to encourage all our students to participate in lots of co-curricular activities. And that's why I should say that NH students are all multi-talented. And kudos to the parents who have all the trust in us and keep supporting us throughout our journey. And that's how we are able to run all these years. In fact, myself and Sonu sir, we were new to this education system. And today, with all the support of our parents, we are standing with a lot of grit to say, and I should be proud that I am an NHian. Thanks to our beloved parents who were who actually, to say, they had all the faith in us in the beginning of the year. I remember in the year 2021, And we were just thinking, okay, should we start or not? And that's when Thara ma'am and of course Uday sir were there, and immediately they said, yes, ma'am, you should start, followed by Mr. John Jasper and Madam Divya. So thanks to all the parents who were there in the starting of a journey, and there are parents who are joining us in a journey of education to give the holistic education to all of the students. Thank you once again for joining on this wonderful occasion. Namaste, and I hope all of you will enjoy this parental program and the webinar of innate education. Thank you all once again. I would like our innate parents to share few thoughts about innate education. Of course, our students as well. Our students are quite interactive with all of us. So I would ask my students also to share their experiences with innate education. Who goes first? Parents or students? Come on. Parents? Why today parents? Okay.
Let's
Yes,
do
sir.
a coin flip.
Yeah?
Who should do it?
Rishi always comes up with a versatile idea.
Yeah,
Just
there's
parents, just
Tara ma'am.
parents.
I was just talking to you all about Tara ma'am, who had the faith in us when we started. Hi ma'am, good morning.
Hi, good morning,
Hi,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yeah, I was just talking that no, when we had just started the innate education, it was because of the support
Yeah.
of parents. So I had your name taken without your consent. I'm sorry for that.
No, no worries, ma'am. Always good
Yeah,
wishes are always there. Yeah,
thank
our
you.
journey, I think, started 4 years back now, ma'am. I
Yes,
think that's
Yes,
when
yes,
we,
yes.
started to interact with each other.
yes.
And, I think good things started to happen. The idea of,
Yes.
Taran having to go to a school, online school, which he wanted to continue. That's where our conversation started. And I think it was Taran's idea, rather saying that I want to study only with Shobana ma'am and Sonu sir. He was very clear. That's when I had to approach you, and the whole idea of schooling started. And I'm very happy to see that, the family of N8 is growing, and may it grow bigger forever.
Thank
It's
you.
been
Thank
a
you.
wonderful journey for us.
Yes, with all your
Right,
blessings.
Taran? You want to say hello? Say hi.
Hi, Taran. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So I told him that I was supposed to join this webinar. He said, no, I'm also going to be part of it.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah, he feels, I think there is a lot of connection in terms of, when things are being hosted from the school, they want to be part of it. So he's been, from yesterday, he started. Have you got the link? It's 11 o'clock. You have to join at 11. So he's rather following up with me.
Thank
So
you.
good job on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Taran, for that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
for making
Tara
our
Thank you
ma'am.
mom
very much.
punctual.
Thank you.
So